Hi guys, it's Weta, and I am back to finish up an ornament that I started a long time ago, and I forgot about it. I put it aside, the project aside, and recently came back, found it, and decided to finish it. Now, I'm going to recap lightly. This is the ornament. Recap very lightly. I started with smooth foam, and that's the brand name, and that's actually pretty important for this. Started with smooth foam, sanded. There's like an equator on there. I just sanded that off with a nail file. I use one for artificial nails because it works a little bit faster. And then I coat the balls with glitter glue. Now, I use different colors, and I apologize, I'm retrieving some to show you because I do them in advance. Okay, I meant to have these handy and I just forgot. This one is silver, and this is brown with a little bit of black in it. This one I wanted to show you because I used a kind of glitter glue that was truly not good, and it's a pink and orange fluorescent. For what we're doing, this type of glitter glue is not good. It dries matte. So I went over it with this iridescent by Doris. It's called Clear Iris. I went over it to give it the sparkle. Otherwise it was just flat. I love the colors, but they alone were not sufficient. So I cover it with several coats of glitter glue, and that does take a little time. I tend to put it in a candle holder. Mine is a skull. And just do as much as I can, let it dry, flip it over, and I put as many coats as I need to cover, okay, the way I want it. This has got blue and purple. So once I've done that, I tend to use lace, which is why I go ahead and I paint the whole ball. I like the freedom because I do this in advance, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with the ornament, so I just cover the whole ornament. And this time I stretched lace. I like lace. I got a whole bunch of lace off of eBay in an end of the season, end of the mill run or something like that. And I stretched it, and then, as you can see, I did 4 different things. Usually I do 2. Like this one, I put this design, and then that design, and then I repeated. Okay. And these are, it's very, very easy to do. You put one row going down, and then little sequin off to the side, little sequin, 2 sequins, little sequin. So you just kind of build it 3, then 2, and then 1, and repeat. This I just started putting 1 row, then a row on either side, and a row on either side. Whatever looks good is basically what I tend to do. And I do different things. Usually I will use 2 types of sequins. I've got these antique pinky looking ones, and then there are these almost clear ones that are going down the middle of the lace on this one. And this one, there's lace, there's ribbon trim, there's the white iris and black. And then I have that where I had the white iris, black, and then the ornament showing through. And that one was symmetric too. I did different things here. This one, my lace was irregular, so I followed with the blue, put the purple inside, blue, purple, blue, and then some of the ornament shows through. And this one I filled in completely, blue, purple, blue. And then this one is blue, purple, and the ornament. So I just did something different on all 4 sides. And now I'm ready to fill in. The thing with how you do the the layering technique. Again, this is a recap. I'm using about a 1/2 inch pin. I'm using 15 aught beads, and you put the bead on the pin, layer the sequin on top of that, if I can get just a sequin. Okay, so this is what it, and you put the bead on there because sometimes the pin head is not big enough to keep the sequin on, but the bead will. Dip the tip in Elmer's glue, okay, and then just stick it into your ornament. The Elmer's glue helps it last, so you're not as likely to lose the ornaments. And this really, it doesn't actually take long, but this is not a bulk gift thing. This is an heirloom ornament for someone. The next step is to finish it off, and here's what I generally do to finish them off. I use, excuse me, one. I think some of the anesthesia is still trying to work its way out. I do several different things to finish them off. This one, I used lace motifs that I cut out of some Venetian lace, corsage pin, and then some more of the cording that I used, and on the bottom the corsage pin. This one I used a bead cap, corsage pin. This is satin cording, and again the corsage pin, there you go, on the bottom. It just sort of frames it. This one, nothing on the bottom because of the design of the ornament, but bead cap, corsage pin, satin cording. Satin cording, the 2mm kind, is really not, you can't get it through the top of the bead cap, so it has to go around the sides. It still looks pretty good. But for this one, I found some bug tail. Okay, right here. That is 1mm. This is by the satin nylon macrame cord, 1mm, which is bug tail Mandala Crafts. And I'm using, again, a bead cap. Now, I've got an assortment of bead caps to choose from, and I'm bringing up the bead caps simply because I have found that it is much more inexpensive to go to eBay. You'll get more, like there's this fluted bead cap, which I actually have not yet used on one. They're relatively new. If I need to change the color, I use some Rub and Buff on them. This one is silver, that I put a gold cast to it. But I have found that to get these bead caps, eBay, you get so much more for your money on eBay. And I don't look at bead caps for anything smaller than a 20mm bead. Okay, so I took my cord, cut it off, doubled it, and then tied a knot in the base right here, if I can pull it out. So I just tied a knot so it'll hold the ornament, and it goes through the top, which is more traditional, I think. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right now in here to secure it, and I'm not going to wait for that to dry, but this is just an added measure for what the next step is. Okay, so there's a good bit of glue daubed in there, and I'm just using Elmer's glue. That's pretty much what I use with these ornaments. I don't do anything else. And I'm going to be very careful. I don't want to get my cord all gluey. I am recycling 2 corsage pins. Now, I have found that basically with one type of corsage pin I can do anything that I want, so there's no need to buy a whole bunch. I did learn that the hard way. I have a whole bunch. But what I started doing is I just buy the pearl tip ones, and then I use nail polish. I stick them in this styrofoam block, and I use nail polish to color them whatever color I happen to need. The other kind of corsage pin that I found really helpful is just that clear crystal one. That looks really good on some of the ornaments where the color just isn't what you want. So with these two, I can do pretty much anything. I could probably manage just fine with either this or with the clear. I don't have to have both. But I do, because I learned the hard way. So what I want to do now is put a little bit of glue around the edge of my bead cap. And again, I'm just using Elmer's. You could use, if I open it up, I'm using Elmer's. You could use whatever you've got. Use tacky glue. It doesn't really matter. So there we go. A little bit messy, but that's okay. And now, if you don't have a handy-dandy skull candle holder, just use a coffee cup. When I'm working on multiple ornaments, that's what I do. And I want to center this. I'm kind of eyeballing it, so I'm going to pick it up, look at it from the top, make sure it looks centered, and turn it over and make sure I can see it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take one of my corsage pins. I'm going to put glue on it. Okay. And I'm fiddling with this. There we go. Got a good coat of glue. I'm going to stick it down through, and then I have to press fairly hard. Sorry for the squeaking. Pull the cord so that I've basically got it on either side of the pin. Yep, and there we go. And that's the top part done. Just like that. And of course, you actually can hang it right now. Wait till the glue dries. Now to finish it off, I'm going to put a corsage pin here at the base. But I wanted to show you there are some other options that you can use if you don't have these large bead caps. You can get things like this spangle that you can put down and pin all around. I don't have one here that I have done, but I have done this in the past, and it looks quite nice. So get creative. I used lace before. This is the first ornament I ever did, and I used lace because I didn't have any of the large bead caps. So take a look around, see what you've got, and go from there. On the bottom, sometimes I'll put this, and this probably would be a good idea with this particular ornament simply because I've got such a big area here that I should try to do something with, but I'm not going to. See here, this is a smaller area, and I debated. A lot of times I'll put another color down here, either another cord or another ribbon, but I wanted to let the lace design show through. So to finish it off, I think I'm just going to stick a pin down at the bottom and let the rest of it be the center of attention, so the bottom is going to be quite plain. To do that, again, I just put, and I'm actually recycling these corsage pins from another ornament. I didn't have it centered, and it just drove me nuts, so I disassembled it, salvaged what I could from the project. And again, I'm checking, and when I do this, I always turn it over and I try to look and eyeball, I don't know if you can see, so that I can tell that I'm getting it lined up with this top bead cap. Because if you don't, then your ornament will be just ever so slightly off, and it will annoy you. And I think that one is off. I'm looking at it. Is it? Let's see. I think so. So I'm going to try again. That one didn't quite go in straight also. Not going in straight. To me, this is the fiddliest part right here. And I'm looking to make sure that it just looks like it's on an axis as much as possible. I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's good. And so there is my ornament. And that's it. Again, this is not hard. It does take a little bit of time, but it's something you can sit down and do while you're watching TV, and you can make just a beautiful keepsake ornament for someone. So that's it. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.